you go, run. Again. Okay. I think what's doing it is probably this right here. So I might have to close this out.
Close it. Are we live now?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our, fourth video?
Yeah, it should be out now. I think that's what it was. My phone connected to the stream.
Yeah, it's probably a lot
I
of.
think it's because I'm going back and forth on my own phone.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's disconnecting.
Disconnecting.
Yeah. And then it's making the stream also disconnect and reconnect. But, okay, we are back. Let me put it on here. Actually, that was the right spot to go to. There we are. Your face, you're like this. Hi. All right, we are back. What's up, guys? So, yeah, everybody that was watching, I guess they're gonna have to come back. But sorry again, sorry for the disconnection, for the technical difficulties. For some reason, it keeps shutting off. But hopefully, this is the last time it will do that.
Mm-hmm.
So just going back on the depression topic, right?
Well, that's
just to wrap it up, so we can go on to the next topic, okay? What advice do you have for others who may be struggling with depression?
get help. Try to get help. You cannot do nothing on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot get out of any addiction or depression, anxiety on your own. You need help, and we all need help.
What about someone that is in a relationship or a marriage?
Well, this is the thing. This is something good you brought it up like this.
They wouldn't be alone technically, right?
The problem is that when you come with depression and you bring it into the relationship, that's where all the problems comes, because depression didn't start at that moment or 1 month behind prior to, it's this is coming since we were small. You're dragging into things that you believe and you think and stuff. But I think that when I was in depression, and your dad helped me a lot, probably he didn't know how to do it because we both didn't know I had depression. And he tried to be there for me, but there's so much they could do for you when you don't even know.
Yeah, there's only so much.
Yes,
to do,
and somebody could just give up on you.
Yeah,
because you cannot drag them with you. So I will say, take responsibility for what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Switch that mind to positive. Start deleting all the negative you're looking at on TV, on your social media. Don't go on that, because everything you see when you have depression, well, everybody's have it different. But if you go into social media and they have something you don't have, you're gonna be crying because you want something that other people have. You think perfect. You see perfect in everybody, but not on you. So you have to see things that are gonna help you on your emotions, on healing, on restoring yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to delete so many other things that are they're just like
holding you down.
Okay, so sometimes it's hard because when you're in depression or any other probably
mental state.
Yes, it's hard to get out on your own. Just, oh yes, I mean everybody could have done it, right? But it's going to be in a point on your life that you're going to have to breathe. It's like underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you're going to have to reach into getting air.
Yeah.
So nothing lasts for a long time. I just say, if you still not too deep in depression, try this little stuff. Like, there's so many things you could see on YouTube. There's so many people you could see on YouTube that came out. Look and get, probably what we're saying is not gonna help you in everything, but probably, we hope it gives you like encouragement.
Yeah.
To do something for yourself, because there's a lot you could do. I mean, there's a purpose in everybody in this life.
So now going on to the next topic, right? Saving, not even saving, but just saving a marriage or relationship, right? We talked about how, someone can have depression, or how it's like having depression in a marriage or a relationship, right? That it can affect your relationship.
Yes.
Before we touch more on that topic, can you show your or share your experience with helping others save their marriage, or talk about relationships or marriages in general?
Okay. I would not say help others save their marriage. I would say share what we have accomplished.
What you guys done?
Yes. Hoping others could get motivated and help themselves move on and reach their goals. Me and my husband, my husband and I, we, ¿cómo se dice? Estamos en un grupo? Like we're in a group. We're in a ministry in church of couples, a marriage. And we are part now. We started like 6 years ago because our marriage, we have 27 years of marriage.
Yep.
So yes.
Yeah.
Because 27 years
it's a long time.
It's a long time. And so every marriage goes through ups and downs. So we had this down.
It's almost as old as me. I
Almost.
just turned 26.
Mm-hmm.
So 27 years, dang.
How old is Maria? 28?
8. Mm-hmm.
We're 27. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We have 27 years of marriage, and we have ups and downs like everybody else. But in those moments that we had really low,
Mm-hmm.
we, and your dad was the one holding on to me. Because it's really easy, guys, to say, let's break up, separate.
You mean you were holding on to him? Right?
Yes.
You were holding on to him, and he was holding you up, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Right.
Okay. In my mind, I was seeing different.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry. It was a point in our marriage where your dad and I, we were probably in one of our deepest depression in marriage.
Yeah.
Where we didn't even know what was this going. It's hard because you live, you let go of yourself.
I'm going to stop you real quick.
Okay.
I just want you to finish off on that first question first, okay? Before we start getting too far
What
deep
was
into
the question?
it, was what experiences with helping others save their marriage or relationships. Like, you were talking about how you're in a
Okay,
group at
we're in a
church.
group in church.
So what skills and experience have you developed there to
That's why
that help you know what you're talking about, pretty much?
Well, because that's what I was coming in through all this conversation.
Yeah.
Because the way we ended up being in this group, it was because we were in our worst and we did it. We put it in practice, everything we learned here, and we have accomplished to be until today where we at now.
So just to put everything in a bubble, you said at first when your relationship was in a dark place, I guess, and you can say. You guys went to church and got introduced to the group.
Yes.
Right? And then whatever they
seen something.
whatever advice they gave you guys, you put it into practice in your own relationship.
Yes.
And then you saw changes, right? You saw growth and change in your own relationship. And then
they invited us to be in the group of leadership.
Okay. And now what do you do in that group?
We represent we help in finances. So we do all the charity and the funds and all that stuff. So we do retreats for couples. So we're part of that group where we do retreats for couples so they could recover their marriage.
Yeah.
And we have once a week a class. It's like going out for on a date with a couple. So they do como dinámicas. ¿Cómo se dice?
What is that?
Dinámicas is like when you and your couple do certain things like therapy, but in between you two. You practice how to look to your eyes. You practice how to talk to yourself.
So like relationship building.
Yes, relationship building.
Okay.
So we do so many other things.
Okay, so that's her experience on why she is so knowledgeable behind this topic that we're going to be talking about, especially because she, once again, my mom put it into play in her relationship with my dad, and they're still doing it, and it's made a drastic improvement in their relationship. Not only in the relationship with them too, but with us as their kids and stuff like that. But before we get too into the topic, I want to stop here for a second and just make sure to tell you guys to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, hit that bell notification. And I know we had hiccups on this podcast where it was live and ended, and then live again, and then ended, and now live again. But it's okay if you can't watch the full podcast, right? Isn't it? It's okay, right?
No, but they can watch it.
Oh, they are. But it's okay, though, if they can't, though, right? Because they can still watch it on TikTok. There's still short clips and reels that you can watch on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And even if you're unable to do that, say you're driving at work, so you can't be watching, right? You got to be watching the road. You can watch on Spotify. You can listen in there and listen with your ears while you drive. Easy. It's easy. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, hit that bell notification, and follow our other pages to stay tuned with what goes on in our podcast. So now...
Well, I love this topic.
Yeah.
I'm in love with this topic because I feel that in this, in your podcast, there's a lot of young people, young couples, or probably someone that is barely going to get into a relationship. And I will say stay in here, hear out, because if me and your dad had this information before when we were young, we could have avoided so many falls.
Okay. So a question for you then.
Yes.
Have you heard of the red pill?
No, I don't even know what is that.
So there's a thing on social media, right? It's called the red pill or blue pill, right? The blue pill is the people that are woke. You know what woke means?
Well, blue pill is something else.
No. So the blue pill is called being woke, right? In California, they say the western side of the world, right, which is usually California. There's a trend going on where it's like people are woke, right? That's where all the LGBTQ community, the transgenderism, the not being able to distinguish, male roles and female roles, and woman empowerment, all that stuff. That's called the blue pill, right? And that's called being woke. The red pill in my opinion, I see it more as a religious aspect, right? Where there's a male and a female. And they have beliefs, certain beliefs that they follow, right? There's like kind of like a rule to follow in religion or religious beliefs in all religions, right? That's kind of like the red pill, right? It's like living in the real world. Science kind of you okay?
Yeah, okay.
Science kind of proves like a lot of this stuff, right? So that's what the red pill is. So, but on social media, a lot of people see the red pill as in toxic, right? They're like, oh, you're so toxic because you believe in all that red pill stuff, right? Or a man is supposed to be strong. All men are supposed to be strong, and all men are supposed to like suck it up and not be weak and express their emotions and all that, right? That's on social media. That's the trend, right? So what I was gonna talk about this, right? Is let's see. So going back to the relationship thing, right? Do you think a relationship should be more of that red pill or that blue pill? Whereas the blue pill is the woke and the red pill is more of like, you should have a belief. Not necessarily has to be a religious belief, but have a belief and stand by it and, follow that.
Sorry. I think, you have to respect. First of all, you have to respect each person, whatever they believe on, and I do believe that even though you're not agreeing with certain things, they still have their own belief in God or whatever they believe on. But I think all of this is coming because people trying to express themselves without people trying to express something they don't know how. They don't know how to do it. So they're fighting to...
I agree with that, by the way. I agree. I think, let me jump on that with you, right? I agree that people don't know how to express how they're feeling on the inside. And I think they're being taught... I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm just saying they're being taught whatever that person is trying to teach them, right? They're being taught whatever that person knows. And I'm not saying necessarily the wrong or right. I'm just saying those people that don't know how to express themselves or don't know how to, show how they're feeling should go and find out first beforehand who they should get taught by or what they want to truly believe in. I think they should stand by certain beliefs and standards.
There's I think that it's so confusing out there now that you don't even know where to look and get information or get help no more, because everybody has their own way of thinking, their own way of believing certain things. But also I think it's a personal issue. Whatever, how you felt and how you were raised and how everybody was treated, it's what you feel now. It's what you're confused now, because some of us, felt like, oh, I was hurt before, so now with the wrong person, I'm not gonna let that person hurt me. So I'm gonna be, like you said, the feministas. They're taking it in the wrong direction because, I feel that you could put your foot down with respect.
They're acting.
Well, some.
No, I'm saying they're acting in a defense mode because of their past or because they were hurt or because of their trauma.
However we act is what we have inside. That's all. Nobody could give what you don't have. So whatever you see is what we have. And if you see aggressive, that's what you have inside.
Okay.
If you see kindness, that's what we have inside. And that's why I say that it all depends on how you feel inside, how broken you are. That's what you're gonna give. If
so in a relationship,
I have seen many people separated because they were advised from people that gave up on their marriage, so they feel that they have to do it too.
You know what's crazy? I kind of see that too, right? I feel like a lot of people in relationships or marriages get advice from the wrong people, right?
Yes.
They tend to look at, and forgive me if maybe you guys are going through this or whatever, but in marriages or relationships, a lot of what I've seen is they tend to go towards friends more than professional advice, right? And they go to friends, and a lot of the time their friends are not like the best influence, right? You're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, and you go to friends who either one have a messed up relationship, or you go to friends that are single and tend to do bad stuff, and then when you go to them, they kind of drag you into a bad stuff, and then it tends to lead your relationship into.
When that happens, is because you go to those people.
The echo is killing me. What echo? Is there an echo? Really? What echo in what?
Still echo. What I feel that people go to those friends is how they feel. If I feel at this moment,
maybe it's echo from our mics. Maybe push that one. No.
Probably this way.
There you go.
Marcos, let us know. Thank you for being here with us. But can you let us know if it's still you could hear us good? But
yeah, because I'm not sure what kind of echo you're talking about.
Okay,
I can't hear an echo, so.
Going back to what we were talking about, I think we go to...
Try to talk directly.
Okay.
On the front.
Can you hear me?
That's where it's at right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, so I feel that when somebody goes to talk, and this is my experience, right? You go to people to heal at the moment what you have. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so I feel that. Oh, I see what this is. Somebody goes to talk. Are we doing this? Experience, right?
Why is there an echo then?
You go to people. Lower down.
No, the echo's not from this though.
Are we good? Can I talk to them or?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, but what I feel in my experience, when you have problems with your relationship, don't go. I thought it was my headphones, but I can still hear it. Okay. Can you still hear it now?
I don't know. Continue, Mom.
Okay, so if you have problems with your partner, I mean, the first one you need to talk about it is with your partner. But at the moment, probably you don't have that close communication with that person, right? So if you need help, I will recommend you, if you don't have no one around you that could give you a good advice, or you feel that you're not going to get a good advice.
I fixed it, by the way.
Okay. Right. Way better.
He said way better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for telling us too, because probably the rest of the podcast was ruined.
Oh.
Probably up until now.
Well.
But at least we fixed it.
Yeah.
And don't worry, like we'll for sure touch back on some of the other topics, just to fix the podcast,
Okay.
the mistake that we made. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying, write your emotions. Write those emotions down. That works 100%. And then read them. You're going to feel way better. Sometimes all the problems we have in our relationship are just because we have miscommunication.
Yeah.
And a lot of people divorce because they don't agree in the same thing. And we're not going to agree in the same thing. We're never going to agree in the same thing. We're two different people.
So
we're two different persons.
So what are some common issues you've seen, or you would say people have?
Mostly all the problems in relationship that we have are, we had seen, it's because they're having issues with their past, with their inner childhood. And they bring it into the relationship and they don't know how to express it, and they take it with the wrong person that is your partner that should be like your best friend. So, you know, you have a scarf already there that you're barely put a Band-Aid.
A scar.
Yes. So when you say a word that
triggers,
you know, that other person is going to just
react
to it, you know?
Yeah.
So
and they're going to react in the only way they can, right?
Yes.
I think that's where you're getting
yes,
at,
yes,
right?
yes.
It's like, so just to reiterate, right? Your past trauma is affecting you in your relationship. It's always going to affect you until you overcome it or you confront it and you work on it, right? You work on it.
But because you have to realize that a relationship, yes, there's two people. There's two persons different.
Two people that are different, yeah.
But you're only responsible of how you act, what you say, and what you feel.
Yeah.
The other person don't know how you feel. It's like if you have a scratch in your hand and you have a Band-Aid, and then I come and I don't know, and I come and I do this, and you're like, ow, but I didn't know you had a bandage, a scar, you know, but you did. So you come into me, you didn't see what, you know, you come into me in a negative way when I didn't even know you had that damage already. So it's just like that. But
you know
realizing.
that was a great analogy that you just did right there. Because I didn't know that I do that. I do that a lot. I do that with my girlfriend, and there's things that I get mad at, and she just says, well, I didn't know, you know, I didn't know you. And then I kind of like sit down and talk to her about it, and I'm just like, damn, like, I'm sorry then for reacting that way. Because one, either I should have told you beforehand, or I should have just thought. And this is one thing that I seen on the internet, right? They say people usually go by what, like, their reaction in their own head, right? So they go by how they see life, right? And they say the best way to become a better person is to always put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? So see the world in the other person's perspective, right? See life in their perspective. So now when you're talking to somebody or you're trying to tell somebody bad news, you'll see it in their perspective and tell them in the best way possible, right?
Or
and sorry, but I just want to kind of finish what I was saying. But back where you were saying what the whole scar thing, right, is I should start, and this is just for everybody, but I should start realizing before I get mad, I should put myself in their shoes and think, well, have I told them? Do they know? You know, start thinking in that way where it's like, well, should I even be mad? Like, should I even be upset? The fact that they didn't even know that I would get upset at this or that I would be hurt when they don't even know, you know?
This is one of the things I like to share, these words. It's learn the weakness of your partner so you won't touch those weakness. Learn to figure out their weakness so you won't touch those. You don't hurt that person. That's the only way. But also that know there's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect person in the world. So don't try. Sometimes we think we're perfect and the other person is imperfect. And we always want to be right. And if you really want to be great in a relationship, just let the other person win.
Yeah. I don't know. In that term, I kind of disagree, because to me it wouldn't be just let the other person win, and I guess this is an issue that I have that me and my girlfriend kind of go through. This is a problem.
Back and forth?
No, it's the fact that, like, I always want to be right, and you know that I always want to be right.
That's the wrong thing. check mark.
But then she does what you say, where it's like,
Yes.
just let him win then. Right. And that to me gets me more upset because at the end of the day, it's because I want to know how you really feel. Right. I want to know your true emotions and that way we can get to the bottom of it and solve it. Right. And to me, it's not like I win and you lose, or you win and I lose. To me, it's more like at least now, right? Because at least for the most part, I always wanted to be right. But now all I want is just facts. That's all I want.
Well,
facts.
if it's so simple, really, honestly, it's so simple. If you're in a argument with your partner, just let him win. And I say this because you're not going to get nowhere. Then you could conversate and get things the right way when you're in a right place. But at that moment, if you want love to overcome, to win, you got to let your partner just be right. And then, part of it, sometimes hold on.
The question would be then, if you're doing that, isn't that feeding the problem though?
No, because next you're going to talk.
But how? Why would you talk if he was right? You just let him win, even if they're not right.
No, because at that moment, it's not like you're going to tell him, okay, you won. Because then you see how we talk to our partner is not smart talk. Okay? When you're having a conversation, remember, when we having a conversation, when me and your dad are fighting, what he does is, okay, mostly I'm always the one trying to be right. So he's like, I know he thinks he's right as well, but then he just silence. It's not like he tells me you're right.
So you think it'll just calm him down to where you guys can converse?
Yes. That's not feeding the anger, you know?
You're not fueling the fire.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
and what do you guys think, honestly? Like the people watching, there's 4 people watching live right now, so thank you for stopping by the way. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think what she's saying is correct? Or
there cannot be 2 persons fighting or trying to win because nobody's gonna win. You know, you're trying to fix a relationship. You cannot fix it by trying to be right all the time.
Well, you see, and this is what I always say, right? I say let's fight the problem, not each other, right? So that's why I say it's like, I'm not gonna say you're right, just let them win. I'm saying let's fight the problem. This is the problem. And you know what's crazy is I feel like most relationships, when they come to a problem or an argument, is the whole point of them arguing is to argue and let things out. But in my opinion, it's not just that. I think they need to come up with a solution for it, right? And I think that's where a lot of people are getting things mistaken, right? Where it's like they're not fighting the problem, they're fighting each other. 2, when they come across the problem, right? When they're like, okay, let's fight the problem, they don't come up with a solution. It's like, this is the problem, right? Say, for example, right? We're fighting about, I don't know, I didn't like how you talked to me, right? So the problem is not I don't like you, is I don't like what you're saying towards me or how you're saying it towards me.
But it also could be is how you taking it.
Well, yeah, but okay, but what I'm saying is the problem is not each other. The problem is that right, is either how I'm taking it, how you're saying it, or what you're saying, right? So what's the solution? Is let me tell you how I feel about it. It hurts me when you tell me this. The solution is don't tell me that, or don't tell me it in that way, right? Obviously, depending on what you're saying. But if you're telling me, hey, you're fat, lose some weight, right? Maybe it's the way I'm saying it. Maybe it's what I'm saying, or maybe it's how I'm taking it. Maybe you're saying it as in like a joke, right? So that's what you're meaning it, right? But I'm saying is like, so the problem is not you right? The problem is not you. The problem is what you're saying, how you're taking it, or how I'm taking it, right?
No,
or
no,
what
no.
you're saying, how you're saying it.
No, I'm gonna.
What do you mean no?
I'm gonna put you like in a pause moment. In my experience on all of this, for having so many years of marriage, and already have done all those arguments and been through those arguments, and now getting professional help from the best, I believe, that has helping me and many, many marriages to fix their marriage and to continue their marriage. I've learned that each of us have to take responsibility of our actions, how we're acting, what we're saying, and how we're taking it.
But that's not what I'm saying at all.
And the problem of what the argument and saying it, we're going to fight the problem is that's the wrong words. We're not going to fight anything. First of all, we have a disagreement on something, and you trying.
I love it. My mom, no.
We're trying to fix a problem. If you're going to try to fix a problem, first of all, we got to let go of what we believe at that moment.
Okay. But how do you fix the problem, right? If you don't, right.
Sleep on it, first of all. Don't talk when you're angry. That's the best thing you could do. Do not talk when you're angry. And believe me, I know.
That's hard. That to me is the hardest thing ever.
But that's the what is gonna keep you going.
You gotta understand. At least in my perspective, right? At least in my perspective.
No, I understand you because you're young.
I can't sleep. I can't go to work if I'm angry. If there's an argument, I can't because I can't focus. In my head, especially maybe because I have ADHD. Maybe because I can't sit still, maybe because I can't stop talking, whatever the case may be, right? I have so much going on in my head. All I think about is that. So if we don't solve it now or throughout the day and we sleep on it, I think I would be more in my head thinking more about it. Is like, oh, why doesn't she want to talk about it now? Or why aren't we fixing it? Or you don't like me? You don't want to talk to me?
Because that's the when you have those type of problems, it's because we don't have a great communication. And it's okay because in a relationship, whatever relationship it is, when you start, you're going to go into different areas in the relationship when you just met a person and you feel like you could talk to them for hours and be on the same page and feel this love going on. And then when you get together and live together and you start knowing your darkness in every single item of your body and how you think, and then you start thinking, okay, we're not thinking the same. But then you start your how you are and what you've been through, like depression and all the stuff that you've been telling me, you bring it into the relationship, and it's going to be harder because you think you're blaming the other person. Why? I want to do this. I want to fix this now, but you're not thinking the other person is not ready. Probably the other person needs a space and needs time. When you force things, when you're in an angry position or a negative position, you're just going to make it worse.
So, okay, question for you then, right? When you come across an argument with my dad, right? How do you guys solve it? Or how do you guys go about it? Not solve it. How do you guys go about it? Because what I was saying is, if there's an argument that me and my girlfriend are arguing about, right? To me, it's like, let's attack the argument, right? It's not each other. Don't fight each other. Let's attack the argument and then come up with a solution so that we don't argue about that same thing ever again.
Well, the problem is that you guys recognize that where the problem is coming from. I
don't think that's a problem. I think that's that's great. If you know where the problem is at.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's getting to know where it's coming from.
Okay, so not the problem. Okay. Sorry, it's how you said it. That's why.
Yeah. If it's the argument is about usually the arguments in a partner, in a couple, it's about, it starts with the littlest things, and it explodes something that happened in the past.
But try answering my question, Mom.
But
like what
for
how do you guys come up? Yeah, how do you guys what do you guys do?
We have been in both. Okay, we have and that's why I'm telling you.
No, but what do you guys do now is what I'm asking.
That's why I'm telling you.
Okay.
When we when we have arguments on a really dark place, he want to cross his point, I want to cross my point, I damage our heart a lot. I say things, he say things that it's gonna just hurt us and get in a darker place. But we have learned, and I have seen it, and because when you get help, you work personally. So I have seen your dad stay quiet, get a step back, and made me in that moment feel like I want to come across my point. I want to continue be fighting because I want to be right at the end of this. I want to be right to feel better. But
and now I know who I get it from.
But he
get it from you.
Sometimes, but you learn that that's not the right way. And I have seen that your dad has stepped back, said, you know what, this is not a way of dealing with it. And there's moments when I stay back and I just silence, and I don't want to go through it, and because you girl, when the less discussions you have in a relationship, you're gonna see your relationship is getting more mature.
Okay, but try answering the question.
And that's how you step back. You let space.
But how do you? Okay,
even though you don't want to.
But then what happens? Then you just let it go?
No, you don't let it go. There's going to be a moment when you guys could breathe and talk about the situation without bringing it the hard way. Okay.
So then the rest of the day you guys don't talk?
It for every couple is different. I would suggest you go walk, let her space, give her space. Then you'll know when is the right time. Because feed love all the time, because that's what it's gonna take you to talk to each other with the heart. Feed love constantly. Remember, you do not hate her in this situation.
So to wrap up what you're trying to say, right? And this is what I got from it. When you
breathe and
you're saying when there's an argument, you step away, give each other space,
and
then come back when you guys are more calm and talk about the situation. And
how you do it?
No, I mean that's pretty much what I was saying. Aside from like the step away part, to me was like let's talk about the problem.
There's people that have
because I say attack the problem, but attack to me is not literally like fight each other. Attack is like let's talk about the problem. And what exactly is the problem? Like, let's talk about it. What exactly is the problem? It's not you. You're not the problem. I'm not the problem. The problem is this, right? The problem is I don't like that. I don't know. Whatever. Let me make something up. I don't like that you don't remember that I don't like this. That I don't like M&Ms. I don't know, for example, right? It's like I would like for you to remember that, right? That's the problem, right? So it's like, okay, I'm sorry that I don't remember, but I'll try to remember next time. And that's it, right? Because that's my thing is, that's in an argument thing. You that's find the solution.
The situation, and we have to admit we have a little bit of controlling in our situation. So you got to be like, okay, I don't want to be that controlling. Is this a really big deal to get it? If she forgot that I don't like M&Ms, is it a big deal? She goes through a lot of things. She has her own situation. She has a lot of problems on her head. I mean, me liking M&Ms, is that a big thing? Do I need for her to tell me that she's sorry for this so I could be okay. Then if you're not okay with it, if you don't want to let it go, then you're controlling, because you cannot control what she's saying. You could control your emotions and say, you know what, it's not a big thing. I still love her. And sometimes I'm going to forget things that she likes. I do not know her 100% because, 50% on my work and 50% at home. So,
PN,
and
M&M,
we change.
Dog, she better like those. Peanut M&M. Dog, she better like those.
So we all have differences.
So I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
I think though there is certain things that you can't just like be like, well, I mean, is it really that big of a deal? Because in my opinion, there are some things that are that big of a deal. I don't know. Like for example, right? If I graduate college, right, get myself a degree,
yes,
and I say, I'd really appreciate it if you show up to my graduation, and you don't show up, and we argue about that. To me, that is a big deal, right? And to you, it might be like, well, I got busy doing something else. This is a scenario. I'm not saying this is really happening.
Probably that's like anniversaries or probably a Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, whatever it is. I'm just saying it's an example.
Important situation, but I'm putting this because it had happened in marriage and how they have come it is by forgiving. We have to learn how to forgive.
How many times do you forgive?
70 veces 7.
70 times?
7.
So you count them? You mark them down?
No. 70, that's in the Bible. Forgive every day, every second, every time you need to. You have to forgive. Just like you want them to forgive you.
Okay, but question then, right? Because this is, and believe me, I come across this a lot, right?
Yes.
Because you say forgive.
Yes.
At what point do you realize it's like, am I just being used?
Well, it's because it all depends where that is coming from.
Because I'm saying this because in a relationship or in a marriage, I think that's important, right?
No, I mean,
at what point do you like, I've forgiven you so much.
This is coming deep, guys.
Yeah. I've forgiven you so much. I've forgiven you so much for either the same thing, for new things, like.
Well, that's why we help people.
At what point does it be like, are you just like trying to hurt me? No matter how many times I forgive you, are you just trying to take advantage of that I forgive you?
Okay, let me bring this big thing.
I got to keep adjusting this mic. This couch
happen.
It's so uncomfortable, isn't it? Or is it just me?
Okay.
It's so uncomfortable for me.
But okay, I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to put this as an example, as an experienced person in, going through all this. I consider myself experienced.
A long-term relationship,
yes,
right? And marriage.
I help other couples, Just remember, we're not perfect. If every couple knew we're not perfect and we all make mistakes because we are so used to people forgiving us, but we don't learn how to forgive others. And that's what we need to do, learn. But I guess there's couples that had come to us that had cheated on their partner for several times. Okay, I'm going to put this as an example, right?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like, how many times you forgive?
And the other person is like, how many times do I need to forgive him?
Exactly.
So he could take me serious.
Exactly.
Okay, first of all.
Or like know that like it hurts me, and the fact that like you just keep doing it. Like, do you just continue to forgive? Like,
okay, well, let me explain.
Because at a certain point, you would feel like you're being used, right? You would feel like...
It's because I hope you understand this, okay? This is a process. When this major thing, because it's something really big, nobody likes to be cheated on.
Shout out to the 5 viewers that are watching live right now. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's if you've been getting cheated on several times, we're just putting this in as an excuse. And you're there saying, how many times do I need to forgive him? First of all, you're treating yourself like that.
What do you mean you're treating yourself like that?
Normally, people treat you like you treat yourself. If you treat yourself with respect, you're letting someone step all over you, they're going to just do it. Okay?
So you're saying
sometimes you have to put boundaries.
You're saying that other person is cheating on you because you don't respect yourself, so they're not respecting you?
No, let me talk. You have permitted all this situation going on.
But you just said that you just forgive 70 times. So if they cheat the first time,
okay,
you forgive them and that's it? Or you just walk away?
Well, let me say it. Let me talk. Right? When you're in a relationship, that I feel that every relationship has a way out, has a way to live for many years and be a very great marriage, right?
Yeah.
Once you know the rules, and once you get the right help, and once you start working on yourself. Okay, first of all, I have seen people that had been cheated so many times, and now they're different. They're different, and how they did it, I'm gonna tell you why. Because first, they come to you because they want to fix the situation. If you want to leave a person, you want to let go, you don't ask. You just do it. When you're asking someone, how do you leave a person? You just basically asking how you could save your marriage.
Wait,
if you
Mom,
want to save your marriage,
you're not answering the question, Mom. No, you're not. You're going around it.
No.
All I'm asking is, you said you forgive, right? You said you forgive 70 times.
If you want to fix your marriage, you forgive anything and you move on and you're let go.
So I think you finally answered it, right? I think it's, if you want to make your relationship work,
yes,
right? That's when you forgive, right?
That's when you forgive.
But if the person is cheating on you and you just don't want to,
you don't ask.
You don't let. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Ask,
I see what you're saying. Let go. If you want to continue being with that person that cheats on you, you forgive them. But if you don't want to be with that person, or if you don't want to be cheated on, you got to let them go, right?
You got to let them go.
Yeah. So you're saying, and you don't even ask, you just walk out of their life.
It's not that you, the problem is that, I mean, I hope you guys understand something out there and we're not confusing you, because we have two different ways. And obviously it's okay because he's younger. I'm way older. I'm younger than him. I do believe that your marriage, if you're going through a process of divorce, or you don't know the situation, and if you have kids, I recommend fight for your love, fight for your marriage, because not only you are gonna help each other, your family is going to stick together, and you're going to keep your family together. There's things you could save. There's things that you cannot do anything about it, but that's because someone don't want to go on. I believe if a person, if your partner wants to move on and continue going, there's a possibility that you could save.
SWYW podcast. Hey guys, what kind of camera do you use for the podcast? Right now, I think it's called the Nexigo. It's a 1080p 60 frames per second with autofocus. I have another camera here when we switch scenes and stuff like that. It's called the Emmet or Emi or something like that. I don't know. The other camera's a shitty camera. This one's a better camera. They're both like webcams. I'd like to, upgrade the cameras here, but they're expensive. They're like $1,000 to they're between like $500 to $1,000 for a really good camera or a better camera. So for now, I'm using these. Okay. But yeah. However, I want to go into the marriage, right? Because we were talking about relationships, not going to the marriage, right? Do you believe in divorce and getting remarried and divorcing and remarrying? There's some people that got married 3 times. Do you believe in all that?
I believe in second chances. second opportunities.
With the same person or with a new one?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I believe anybody deserves a chance in life. And you could always make mistakes. I have seen people that had divorced a person and they have come to us with the same person that divorced to get remarried again.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's lovely because you make mistakes and then you just repair them.
Yeah.
Moving on. And that's about it. I mean, it's not... Don't blame the other person. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't blame the other person for all the faults because in a relationship, both of you are the problem. Okay? There's not a problem. There's not your problem. It's our problem because we're both in this.
Yep.
And whatever it happens in a relationship, we're both doing it.
Yep. I can agree with that for sure.
Mm-hmm. So once you know that it's our problem, you're not going to feel like you have to, make the other person say sorry or.
And to follow up with that, what are some effective strategies you've seen couples use to reconcile and strengthen their marriages or relationship? What are some things that you say like people do to make it better? Like with those people that you were talking about that got remarried, what is something that you think they did or you think that people should do to like make their relationship stronger or rebuild their relationship?
I think they realize they love each other at the end. That's the only thing that could.
But how? How do you do that?
Because it's so easy. It's so easy, son, for real, to have a long-term relationship and feel at that process that you lost connection. Because you're a mom, you're a dad, you are a I don't know, friend, daughter, and you do other things, and your only job is not being a wife or love each other at that point. You have other things going on in your life, so it's so easy to let go what made you guys love at the first time. Yeah. So. When you're mature in your relationship and there's nothing to fight over no more. You don't have your kids to fight over things. You don't have, the only thing is left is you and me. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Reconnect.
Put on gloves and fight each other, dude. Just kidding.
Reconnect.
Box it out, yo.
Sometimes they separate and they're living on their own, each their way. And they feel alone. They start realizing that what they lost is what they need. So they reconnect. So do not let go.
No, but okay. I don't think you answered the question.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what they reconnect.
What is something they do? But how do you do it? Right? Do they have to go to marriage counseling? Yes. Do they have to talk? Do you have to take each other on dates? Do you have to like try to get that spark back?
Well, every relationship is different, but if you want to, probably, I'm assuming that if you are disconnected.
What would you recommend from what you've seen people go through in that church group that you're in?
I was going to say this. When you see people, they're already separated and they're coming back, because that's your question, how they do it. Or how they know
what they do.
Yeah. Usually they look for something they never did, which is probably church, probably a couples or therapist.
Oh, okay.
And which I do recommend a lot. Every church have couples therapy.
Do they really?
Yes.
At church?
At church. They have couples therapy. They have couples classes. Take it. Do not, even though you're young, sometimes you're like, oh, how I'm going to go?
Because it's not free though, is it?
Yes, it is free.
At church?
A lot of things are free. Yes, in church. But young people that are barely getting married, they feel that going to church and taking these classes are for like older people. And they feel embarrassed to go. But they actually help you. You have to focus on your relationship, because at the end you don't have friends or family. Who's your family? Who become your family is your wife and kids. That's your family. Yeah. And your problems, when you have a big problem, who's going to be there? Your friends your husband and kids, they're gonna be there for you. That's your solid family.
Yep.
So at the end, you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I feel embarrassed if they found out that we're taking therapy. Because they feel like the people who takes therapy is the people that are lost or they're broken. But if you're intelligent,
and that they want help too.
Yeah, if you're intelligent
if you're smart enough to know that you need help and you want help.
But if you're smart
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have problems, take it now, because you will. Because that's how it's marriage. Do not think marriage don't have problems.
Yeah.
We all do. But with this help, we have accomplished them better.
And that's what I said too. And I've talked about this with my girlfriend, right? I said, regardless of our ups and downs, just because, especially being young, right? Nowadays, they say like, oh, red flags and toxic relationships and all this other stuff, right? They said, at least what I see on social media, right? They're like, boom, 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 toxic relationship, this person and this person, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like red flags, something you should look out for, and don't be with the person like this, right? That's immediately what people do, right? Mm-hmm. They say, don't be with someone like this. Don't put up with this. Don't do this, right? And I talk about this with my girlfriend, and I say, like, our relationship is not perfect, just like you and I. We're not perfect. And don't expect that our relationship is always going to be happy. Mm-mm. And always is going to be just nothing but perfectness, and we're always going to stay happy and never fight and never argue and always agree on everything. Because I was like, we're going to argue, and that's okay, as long as, once again, and this is what I always go back to, is like, as long as we figure out the problem, find a solution, and we go from there. Because there's always going to be arguments. There's always going to be problems that you come across, or like a barricade in the road that you both have to work to get across it, right? Mm-hmm. But no relationship is going to be perfect. So I'm always like, just try to get that out of your head, that we're gonna argue, we're gonna fight. Like that's just inevitable. You know what?
But everybody knows what could push you to fight. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows what could help you move on, but if you don't heal inside, mm-hmm. when that problem comes, you're not going to be able to solve it.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. Mm-hmm. That's what J. Cole said.
Well,
in one of his songs
too.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't think he really.
I mean, that is true. It is true. It is hard.
Self-love is the best love, though. Yeah. Yeah. Before, and I've always.
Oh, you know what?
I came across I forget,
this. Because you're saying always, you're saying always this, always that, always this. And that reminds me of something that relationships, when they argue, try to avoid saying always.
You know what?
Never.
And that's something I actually, you just brought up a good point. I do that a lot, and it's a really bad habit. Mm-hmm. That I say, you always do this, you always do that.
Yeah.
And I really got to stop doing that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Like, because that's a bad thing. Like, one, it's not true, right? It's not. But saying you always do this, it's like, what's the point of it, right?
Yeah. Always and never. You never help me. You never, yeah. Those two words.
Stay away from.
Stay away. And so, we're not perfect. And sometimes when you're so used to saying certain things, they're going to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to come out.
Yeah.
But do right now that you start in a relationship, and you, Marcos, and everybody that is out there, they're very young, get help.
Yeah.
Go into church. There's nothing like God in your relationship. Open the door to God. Bring him in here, because that is going to help you a lot. And go to therapy, couples therapy. And I say always look for like church and stuff, because they're not just going to hear you and take your money. They're going to actually talk to you and help you out. I'm not saying that, other therapy don't help, but I'm saying this helped me and is helping me, my husband and me, and that's what I recommend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Here's a good question. In your view, right? In your view, what are the key elements of a healthy and successful marriage? What do you think what do you think is the main important things that make a marriage successful?
Successful, it's a big word, because successful, you use it for like money wise, like material things a lot.
So you're saying you can't really use it for marriage because
I mean the word for me it'll
just, be different for you and me, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes. So it all depends what is successful for the person. You know what I'm saying? But what it could help you have a better marriage, because successful to you only see it at the end. And for me is when that's the real love, when you're like really old in the marriage, and you see each other with those wrinkles and there's nothing else than you and him or you and her.
Yep.
That is keeping you together. That is successful. We got until the end, and you're not going to see it until the end, until you stay there. But to keep you going to that direction, to your mejor tu pregunta is like, try to avoid these words. Try to avoid fighting when you're mad. Try to feed love constantly. Remind yourself you love her instead that you hate her, because there's moments in the relationship you feel that you hate that person.
Yep.
And that's everybody. Not only you, not only me, not only whoever's seen. A lot of people in a relationship feels, I hate you, when you feel so much anger. It's not towards that person. Remember, you're not fighting that person. You're fighting your own demons. You're just taking it out on the person you love. So just remember you love this person, and try to remember all the good things, positive things that she gives you instead of the negative things. Because whatever you feed yourself at that moment, you're mad and you're like, she don't do this, she don't help me out, she don't understand me, she don't know, she don't talk to me, she don't care for me, that's what you're going to believe.
Yeah.
But if you continue saying, you know what, it's my problem, this is how I feel, I love this girl and I want to fight for this relationship, it's going to be different. You're going to fight for what you put in your head.
What advice would you give to a couple who feels their marriage is moving towards divorce?
Their solution.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There's always a solution for every problem. You just got to work for that solution.
If you, here's my advice. If you really want it to work.
Didn't ask for another.
I know, right? Didn't ask for my yeah. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate it. Yep. All right. Here's the end of the show. Yeah.
Oh my God. Sorry.
No. Okay. Here's what I would say. Right. If you really want it to work, you'll make it work. That's it. Like, if you really want it to work, if you think that your relationship is going down the drain, you guys are gonna break up, or your marriage is gonna end up in divorce, but you really want it to work, you'll make it work. You just got to find a way to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Sorry. I hope me and your dad and me, had
my dad and you, or dad and you, or you and my dad and my dad.
Stop it. No, because they say you always got to say the other person first.
Yeah.
So your dad and me, I hope
your dad and I.
What is it? Everyone wants a perfect relationship with two imperfect people.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Well,
exactly.
Let's talk about that actually for a second, right? It's like
cannot.
How I was trying to say before you cut me off is self-love is the best love, right? It said you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't, in my opinion, when you get in a relationship, you don't give the other person love. You share the love you have for yourself with the other person.
Yes.
And you share each other's love with each other, right? You don't give love to someone when you're in a relationship. You share your love that you have within yourself with the other person. And I think that's the best kind. Because if you try to give love at a certain point, when you have no love to give, when you're depressed, when you're sad, when you're down, you're going through stuff and you have no love to give, like there's nothing there anymore, right?
Well, that's
where it leads into problems.
That's the advice that for people that are already in it, they know that. But mostly all the relationships, they come through something. They bring into their relationship. It doesn't work. So this is to tell them there's hope. You could get out of this.
Yeah.
If you want to. And there's no perfection, like Marco said. Your partner is not perfect. You are not perfect either. And there's never a perfect relationship at all.
Yeah.
So for me, for your dad and I hope you guys understand and my kids understand that you could fix your relationship, because as you see us and going, in our ups and downs, we had never let go, because one person probably once, there's been times where your dad has been more 100% there, and there's been time where I've been there 100% to pull each other from where we at. So I think that's what makes you a relationship, when you don't let go, when you help to move on and keep a family going. I mean, but this is not meaning if you're in an abuse relationship, that's something different, that you have to get more help.
Or different help.
Different help.
Yeah.
But if you're in a situation where, you want to fix your relationship, you could do it.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Definitely. I agree.
You just got to work.
And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop this topic real quick. I want to remind you guys that are watching and everybody that is watching offline. Thank you so much. So far, we've reached an all-time high on this channel. We have reached 77 subscribers. We just gained 3 subscribers since we've gone live today. So I appreciate it. You guys, thank you so much for it. Thank you. We have currently 5 viewers right now watching. So we appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, hit that bell notification. If you cannot watch the full podcast live, or even in general, because I know it's long, this one especially is going to be longer than the other ones, right? It's okay, right, Mom? It's okay.
Yes.
Because you can watch it on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook. You can watch the short clips there. There are reels. Well, I'm sorry, I say this all the time. But yeah, you can watch the short clips and the reels. It's all right. If you don't watch the full podcast live, it's all right. You can watch it there. Those are the highlights. Those are the clips of like the best parts of the podcast. And there's a lot of good parts, but those are the ones that I usually post, to let you know what the actual topic of the podcast is. So make sure to subscribe and like, and we appreciate you guys. And what I'm gonna say right now is I'm not gonna stop the live stream. I want to go back and talk about the other topic about depression. Because,
but first, before you do that, let's see if somebody have a question.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that yet. But what I'm saying is because the other ones, I think I'm gonna delete the other ones because the audio was messed up, and because it was different podcasts. So I think I'm gonna delete the other ones and make this one it. So this is gonna be the only one that's gonna be on the YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go back to the depression one. We can go back and talk about the same thing that we did, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's just gonna be probably like 30 minutes or so, more minutes, if that's okay with you.
Is that okay with you, my husband?
Is he watching? Yeah,
he's probably watching.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I promise I won't keep you that much longer. Sorry. I was just trying to put this. But yeah. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to comment, anything, feel free to do that now. We'll answer some of your questions and go from there. You can ask my mom some questions. She's in that that marriage relationship church group. So feel free to ask if you have any questions, or if you guys want us to talk about anything, just feel free to ask. That's Chavela.
Hey, Mari. Thank you for being here. Hey.
Mari.
Which she is one also great advisor. She's also keeping a great marriage. Good job. Who's your favorite child? I don't have a favorite child.
You're asking at the wrong time because Marcos is watching, and you know he's the favorite child.
No, my God. Oh my God. Okay. Next question. You know what? That is a problem with every single mom. But honestly,
I don't think that's a problem. It's only a problem when it's true.
No. As a mom, it's always you love all your kids. It's just you just treat them differently depending how they are. That's it.
Keyword, you don't love everybody the same.
Oh my God. That cannot happen. Cool.
See, Marco said guilty. You see?
My God.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions or want to talk about anything, feel free to talk about it on the chat right now live. We'll answer your questions here.
Yes, our purpose is to help. Well, not help you, but share.
Just share
something positive. That there's hope for every relationship to move on.
So something that you guys can relate to also, to let you know that you're not the only one going through these things.
Yes.
There's a ton of other people that are also going through these things. And you can even see, there's not that big of an age difference between us, right?
Oh, no, there's not.
So
I agree with that.
And my mom was saying that obviously she's gone through a lot of the stuff that I've gone through. And to me and my girlfriend, it's like, wow, this is the first time we're going through this. And sometimes it feels like, oh, dang, I don't know, maybe this is going to make or break us, or maybe this is why is this such a big thing right now for us, stuff like that. But, now talking to my mom, it's like, oh, people been through this and, it's okay. You'll get through it. You just got to work on these things, Maria asked though, what do you feel about having most of your kids all grown up, all in a relationship and all? They're not all in relationship, I don't think, right?
No.
Right. Okay. Cool. Desi and Linda are not.
No, right? I hope not.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what, Maria? For me, I don't know if this is gonna answer what your question is, but I feel so proud of each of you guys, and
especially Marcos.
What you guys have done, and building your family. What I do wish that you guys get something that
she said
marriage,
most of your kids.
That marriage is not something that, ¿cómo se dice? Desechable. ¿Cómo se dice desechable?
Disposable.
Yes, it's not disposable. It's not like oh, you know what? I don't like this about my relationship. I'm just gonna break up. I hope
throw it away. Yeah,
throw it away.
It's lock it up and throw away the key. Yeah, you're not just gonna throw away the relationship just because there's one problem or whatever, right?
No,
that's what you're saying.
Yes, no. There's other things that build that relationship, and we always focus on the wrong, and that's one of the things that I do want you guys to relax. I know most of you guys are watching, my kids, they are married or they're starting a relationship, that to build something strong, you gotta start from a little string. From a little string to build that thick string, Mm-hmm. And I always say, and I know probably some of you don't want to hear it, but bring God into your relationship is going to help you a lot. Humble yourself. Love your partner. Just accept him how they are. Don't judge too much, because we all not, perfect. And keep a marriage. There's always hope. And I hope you guys know, I hope me and your dad had teach you guys that even though we have our ups and downs, but the best thing we want is to keep a family together, and we love each other deadly. We've been together for a long time, and the least thing we want to do is to hurt each other, because at the end, that's all we have.
Yeah.
That's all we have. And one of the things I wanted to bring up is also that when you're hurting your partner, you're not only hurting her, you're hurting yourself and the relationship, and it's harder to build again and again. So the less you do, the less harder it's going to be to build a strong relationship.
Yeah.
You just don't throw away things just because you don't like it,
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Any questions, guys, before we move on to this topic? We already talked about it before, but once again, I'm just gonna go back and do it just so that the audio is better and that the footage would be easier to just collect instead of having multiple podcasts for today, because it was going on and off for some reason. But yeah, if you guys want to stick around, you guys can. If not, feel free to just follow the clips on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, and go from there. But if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and just go and re-talk about the other topics, so we can go ahead.
Or if you guys
end this combo or in this podcast,
or if they could relate with whatever we're talking about, and it's just ringing in your ears and you want to say something, you could always comment and say something, because it helps a lot. Yeah.
So going back to the other topic, right, that we were talking about, depression, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever been through depression?
I've been through it many years.
Yeah. I've been through depression also. I think I didn't realize that I was depressed for a long time. I think it just built on over time. And, as a kid, you in my opinion, we have a weather advisory in Long Beach. As a kid, I don't think I ever really thought about depression. It wasn't really something I had to think about, but I went through it a lot. I didn't realize it till I sat down and was looking at videos and people talk. And actually, my roommate from LA, we would talk about it. He was psychology major, and he was getting his master in it. But we would talk about it a lot, and he's just like, yeah, man, let's talk about it. Let's sit down and talk, And I realized I was depressed because he called me out on it. He would be like, you're always in your room. You're not really coming out. You're not really hanging out with nobody. You got to come out and step out, do stuff to get out of that depression, right? Mm-hmm. But, I was going through my own journey, and I think going through being homeless and living in my car, going from one friend's house to another friend's house to, living at your house for a day or two or a week, and then going back to Bakersfield and all this other stuff, moving back and forth and all that thing. I think that really just
hit bottom.
It made me feel like I hit rock bottom. Yeah. I think that's the best thing that's ever happened to me also, right? At the time, I didn't really see it that way, but it was the best thing that happened to me, because now anytime I hit a new rock bottom, I'm always thinking back and being like, damn, I used to be in that position. At least this rock bottom, now I have built something, right now I guess you can say I'm building an empire, right? Well, at least now if I hit rock bottom, at least I have my place. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my table. I have a job, things like that, right? So I can say at least when I hit rock bottom, there's that, right? I can always look back and it's like, I've been through that and I got through it. So now I can get through this too. And the things that I do to overcome it is usually I set goals for myself and I achieve them. And I think that really helps me, is always having something to do. I think that's the actually, and I don't think I said this before, but I think that's the killer of all, right? It's boredom. A lot of people get depressed because they're bored, right? They don't have anything to do. They're not doing anything. I feel like they don't they don't want to do anything. I think that's the killer of all. I think that's the reason why a lot of people are depressed too. Is like they don't have ambition. They don't seek to do anything in life, or they're not trying to do anything in life or within themselves to better themselves, to in general do something, right? And in boredom, you tend to find something within that, and I think that's depression. It's like you're bored and you're finding a reason, or you're finding something to do while you're bored. So you find that being depressed is something to do. In some way, you're it's something to do and how to feel. You're feeling something at least instead of feeling nothing. And I think feeling something to a lot of people is better than feeling nothing, you know? And I think that's the reason why a lot of people also like injure themselves, you know, hurt themselves. It's like, I'd rather feel something than feel nothing.
For a lot of people, I mean, depression it could go different ways. And probably that was your experience.
Yeah.
Going through it. But I feel that the depression I know it's how I feel by myself and what I put in my head, and fitting into social in the world. Mm-hmm. When the world put you a lot of tags saying, you know, you have to be a certain way, you have to act a certain way, and you just don't feel that you fit. And so if you don't fit, you're nothing, and you feel like you can't find yourself, or just trying, a lot of us try to be like someone else and don't focus that you're your own person. You have your own things. You have a lot of great things that we could put out there. You don't have to be like the rest of the people. You could be unique.
Yeah.
And looking, putting your eyes on others could make you fall in that depression, you know, because that's what they make you believe you have to be.
Yeah.
And fitting in something you're not.
How did you allow God in your life / marriage / heart? Let's talk about that in a bit.
Mom, how did you allow God in your life?
Yeah.
Marriage and heart.
Let's talk about that in a bit, okay? Hold that question. Hold that question, okay? Can you talk about your journey with depression?
Well, that's a good question, though, right? After.
Yeah. Talk about your journey with depression, and when did you first recognize that you were depressed?
Okay.
And I know we already talked about this,
yes.
but we got to re-talk about this.
Yeah. Probably a lot of you guys don't know, but I had depression. I was going through a depression when I was a mom, first time mom, second time mom, until the process of being a mom. And
when did you recognize you had depression?
I recognized it when I was crying a lot, when I used to go into my room and cry and wanted to be in a dark zone and felt like I was empty inside, even though I had everything.
At what point did you recognize that at?
When it hurt so much inside.
But like when?
When I try to kill myself. Well, I didn't try to kill myself.
I'm saying when though, like so for example, I recognized that I had depression like when I moved from Bakersfield to LA.
But how?
And that was like a couple years ago. And I recognized I had it because like I had other people telling me stuff. For example, like my roommate, he would be like, dude, you're like in your room all the time. Like, come out.
That's how you know, because you hear other people.
But I'm asking you, like, when did you find out?
I found out like 6 years ago when I started going to church, because you see something different. I always say you don't miss something you never had. So like I never had.
Wait, say that again.
You cannot miss something you never had.
Wow. Oh, that's a good one. You can't miss something you never had.
Yeah. So I didn't thought, there was something better for me, because I thought that I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
So
that's whoa.
So even though your dad will tell me, "Oh, I love you, and you're the most beautiful person," and
you didn't believe it because
I didn't believe it because
you thought you never had it.
I
right?
never had it, so I didn't deserve it, and whatever you put in your head, guys,
Dang.
that's what you believe. Okay, that's what you believe. So you come across many things in your head, and thank God he was there every single time. I tried to do something really bad. So, thank God he was there, even though I didn't notice him.
Yeah.
Because God usually comes through people, and they talk to you. He talks to you through people. He probably a phone call, probably a message, probably a hug or something. And we don't look around us. We're so distracted in our own pain that we don't realize that people around us are hurting with our pain.
Yeah.
You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting other people. And I think that's how I found out, because I have seen people that have been through it is saying this is depression, through professional people saying this is, if you're going through this, if you, going through this process, you might have this. And I started saying, you know what, probably I have this. Probably it's not what I have been putting in my head that I'm no one, probably this is what I'm going through because I have a lot of scars.
What are some symptoms of depression that you experience? I know you talked about saying that you wanted to kill yourself and put yourself in a dark area. What are some other things that you feel like
a lot of crying, you feel sensitive, you feel triggered, you feel like defensive on the defensive side.
Defensive, yeah.
Everything is towards you. You're always a bad person. You feel like nobody likes you. You feel that you don't fit in any group. You feel that even though you have everything, you feel empty each and every time. So, everything you want to, you imagine that it could, if you will see your life in another person, you will see that they have everything.
Yeah.
But even though you see it, that they have everything, imagine them saying, I don't have nothing. That's how you seeing it.
Yeah.
Because
and that's very relevant, because nowadays, right, with Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, everybody just posts the best parts of their lives, right?
Yeah, their moments.
The best moments. And from the outside looking at that stuff, you're like, damn, all these people are living a great life, and I'm over here living this life, which I think is shitty, right? You're like, you can be like, damn, like my life sucks compared to all these people that are posting amazing pictures of on vacation, going to events, going to parties, or going out at best restaurants.
But you don't know what's behind doors.
And you don't know what's behind the closed doors. And vice versa, right? They can be looking at you saying like, damn, this guy is doing this, and they're going here and traveling to these places. And deep down inside, you're like, I feel like shit too, though. It's like, I feel the same way you feel in reality.
And everybody goes through things.
What were some of the steps you took to manage your depression, though?
Allowing people love me and loving myself.
Allowing people to love you?
Yes.
And loving yourself? You're good right there. You're good. You don't got to move. You're fine.
Because just because, like, you don't know what is love. The only love you have, we're talking about people that have come like dysfunctional families, or usually you drag stuff to depression that is not, that's your body telling you something is wrong with yourself. When you have fever, when, the depression is telling you something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Your body's so smart that it lets you know something is going on with you. So for me, that helped me. That was the question, right?
Yeah.
That helped me get out of this.
Yeah.
It was first to realize that I had it, not be afraid of it, not feeling that, oh, I'm going to die because I have this,
Yeah.
And then little by little, because this is not something that it could happen quick, it's little by little. It's healing inside. I met God, like I told you, and that's how I started to heal from that.
And how did you find like the strength for like the other people watching, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find the strength to seek help, to even like start your recovery process of depression? Like what made you want to even like reach out for?
It's because when you're in a dark situation,
it's hard to even reach out when you're there, right?
When you're in a dark situation, you don't even want to think, or you don't want people to even tell you that there's a way out. You're so attached to that depression, to that sadness, and you feel that that's all you have. And some people go through alcohol and addictions, drugs and stuff because of it too, because that's a way out of their depression. When I let God enter in my life, I started feeling different. I started feeling like I could breathe, that I had hope, that I didn't feel sad no more. I was meeting people that were so positive, and you started thinking, oh, I could do that. I could have this.
Yeah.
I'm probably too exaggerated on certain things. I started feeling like I was putting too much pressure, probably because of this in my relationship or in you guys. Probably when I was depression, if you guys remember, I was always a mom that will always be overprotected, did not let you guys do a lot of things because I will be afraid something will happen to you guys. So I used to be afraid of every single thing. So the only thing I had, it was my kids, my husband. So I wanted to keep them safe. And but I didn't know that was affecting me, and it was probably affecting you guys, because didn't let you guys do certain things. We only give what we have. And at the moment, that was the best thing I had. And we already have talked about it and stuff, that we all make bad decisions, and because we don't know any better, your parents, whoever's watching, don't blame them, because they have their own story. They have their own issues. They're going through depression as well as you going to depression as well. So there's so many things. But God helped me a lot, opened my heart. I met people through him that had helped me.
So you would say like that was your support system?
Yeah, that was my support.
Fighting through your depression and like getting out of it?
Yes. And it wasn't easy.
Church and God and the people you met there?
Yes. Probably crying, taking my emotions out, talking about this, because sometimes you don't talk about this.
Yeah.
You don't have someone to talk about. And once you feel comfortable and you talk about it, you open, you discover the animal and you let go.
Yeah.
You let go.
Yeah. What advice would you give to people that are going through depression right now? What advice would you give them?
That it's not easy, but once you know you have it, always remember there's always something better, and nothing lasts forever. So there's always a limit, and it's your choice how long you want it to last.
And what about to the people that don't know they have it, but that are feeling
if you feel depressed, if you feel sad all the time, if you feel that you have everything and you still feel empty, probably those are signs. And I would recommend you write your emotions out a lot. Yeah. Write, and then read it to yourself and see what is going on inside of you. I think that had helped me a lot too, writing. And don't try to be like no one else. Yeah. Sometimes you're so strict to yourself and try to fit somewhere, and you don't fit because it's not for you. You probably don't need to be in that group.
Yeah.
You probably something better, you're something better is waiting for you. So there's always hope out there. And what Marco said, probably we can answer his question.
Yeah, we can answer his question now. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be perfect to answer his question.
Yes.
Let me reread the question, right? He said, how did you allow God in your life, marriage, or heart?
How did you allow?
How did I allow
God
into your
marriage,
your heart, and your life?
It was little by little. When actually your dad introduced me to God, because
my dad is really religious, huh?
Your dad has a big heart, and people don't know much about him because he's very personal. Mm-hmm. But when we were in our worst time in our relationship, he said, we have to do something different that we haven't done. And that's bringing God into our relationship. And he told me, if this is the last thing we're going to do, if this doesn't work, we'll split. So we went to church, we looked for help, and we found help. That's how you open the door to God, to tell him, you know what? Everything I'm doing is not working. So if you love your partner, if you want this to work, you have to go for it. You have to go for it.
Yeah.
And in my heart, I think getting in my heart, it was the hardest because when you have so many traumas, so many problems going on, it's hard to believe someone you cannot see. But once you let go and you tell God, you know what, I cannot deal this on my own, come into my heart and heal whatever you need to heal, because I cannot do it on my own.
Yeah.
Then it's when things starts changing.
Yeah.
Yes. He takes the wheel.
Yeah.
You let him do it what you cannot do.
Yeah.
Well, but you have to trust on him.
Yeah.
Even though you cannot see him. And he will do miracles. But doesn't mean you're not going to have trouble. Because people think because you're in church and because you let God come into your relationship, that means your relationship is going to be perfect. And no. There's where, situations are going to come. Trials are going to come and say, how strong are you then? You telling me you need this? Because people fight, and then that's where they say, let's look for help. And then they forgive themselves, and then they forget they need help.
Yeah.
But the problem is still there. So it's the same thing with God. You don't look for him only when you need him. You look for him all the time. All the time. And your relationship is like that. You don't stick together. We forget that we are sticking together in your sickness and your health.
Yeah.
Every occasion. Because some people look at me and said, oh, probably you were the one keeping this marriage. But actually your dad was the one hold me together to keep this marriage. And he still is. He's the strongest.
It's nice. Well, we're going to close off on the podcast here. Hey, thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate it. Thank you for the people that are still watching. Thank you so much. There's 5 people watching now. We have hit 77 subscribers. I hope we can hit 100 subscribers before the end of the year. I hope we can hit that before the end of the year. So make sure.
Follow up if you like this type of
content.
Yeah,
make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are always live on YouTube. That's where our main channel is. So make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that like button and hit that bell notification. The bell notification will just notify you when we go live. But the way the algorithm works, if you hit that bell notification, you will for sure see our videos start popping up on your timeline. Without it, we kind of get lost in the algorithm. So by hitting that bell notification, it really does help out a lot. Aside from that, if you guys can't watch the full podcast either live or in general, because it's a long podcast, I know that I do some shorter ones, but this is one of the longer ones. It's okay, right, Mom? It's all right.
Okay.
Because you can drop a like or drop a follow on the TikTok, on the Instagram, on the Facebook. They all have short clips that are reels or highlights of the podcast, and you can just watch the highlights there, which are very fun and entertaining to watch. You can just drop a follow there, drop a like, even comment on there. We do respond on there. So go ahead and follow those pages. And if you can't do any of that, I know people are really busy nowadays. I'm busy also. If you can't do any of that, don't worry. You can follow us on Spotify as well. You can listen in. It's a visual and it's audio. So you can listen in while you're driving, while you're, at work, or you're at the gym. Listen into our podcast. Maybe you pick up some things here and there that you like, and, drop a comment or tell us like, oh, I really like that. What you guys said, it actually resonated with me a lot, and, connected. I was actually going through the same thing, you never know. So, drop a like, follow, please subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I hope I can do it before, then we'll just set another goal from there. But drop a like. So far, we reached about like 14,000 views within like 2 weeks on the YouTube channel. On my personal page on TikTok, I reached over 70,000 views on one video. On the TikTok page, I've reached about 12,000 views. On Instagram, I've reached about another 12,000 views. On Facebook, another like 10,000 views. So far, it's doing really, really good. I appreciate all your guys' support and like. If you guys think we can do anything better, or if you guys have any challenges you think we should do, or anybody I should in particularly interview or have on the podcast, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Let me know what we can do different. If you think things should be seen different on the podcast, comment that also. There's pros and cons to it. I'd love to be working on the podcast to make it better for you guys. So is there anything you'd like to say, Mom?
Well, yes. I want to say thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was nice hearing you out, because we're always so busy. We get little time to spend. Yeah. But thank you, everybody. If you guys want me to come back, I'm just kidding.
No, honestly, yeah. I know there's more topics we can talk about too with you. So.
No, yeah. But hopefully we get something positive and nothing negative. It's only our experience and whatever we believe in, and we just want the best for other marriage. We believe in marriage to last for a long time,
and relationships,
and to get married.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You make me feel comfortable.
That's good.
So yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys later. I don't really have an outro song or an intro song. It's kind of just whatever was on my Zoom pod track. But I'm going to hit you guys with it, and then we're going to exit off this. So see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.